Shvat, the 6th of Shvat, marks the Hilula of a very famous Algerian rabbi. His name was Rabbi David Ben Moeti Z'tl, Tzaddik Livracha, one of the great rabbis of his time from Algeria. He was born around the year 1796 and passed away in 1876. He was approximately 80 years of age at the time he passed away. He was a very great rabbi, would be a posek halakha, rendering different Jewish laws in of itself, concentrating specifically in Algeria respectively. Now, he was born and came from great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was the Rav Shmuel, who happened to be a rabbi, his father was, that descended from many, many great rabbanim. And I believe famously, I think one of the forefathers of the rabbinic dynasty was Rav Moshe Moati, who happened to be the author of the Yashir Moshe, interesting the great Torah book. And also from his family, just to look at the family tree, his teacher was Rabbi David Ben Moeti, and really, really great structure. And there was very, very high Torah learning in Algeria, respectively, at that specific wonder day in of itself. Now, while he was young, he would learn Torah among the great rabbis in Algiers and became close within regards to Rabbi David Ben Moeti, who we mentioned before. And I think he would be appointed as a judge in the Bet Din of Algiers. I think next to another great rabbi, Rabbi Sadia Amor, who happened to be another great rabbi in his time of Posek Halacha. He was the head of Jewish court, Rabbi Amor was, of Algiers, and very, very famous. And he would become the Rosh of the Yeshivat Etz Chaim in the city, respectively. Come what the year 1830. It's a time period where, let's just say, there was annexation of Algeria by France, which unfortunately would force the rabbis of Algeria to many, many different new challenges and tasks and conundrums in of itself in the field, especially of halachic law, Jewish law in of itself. The French government at that point in time reduced communal, let's say, autonomy of Algerian Jews, which is a huge problem. And the community underwent, let's say, a very, very vigorous process of modernization at that point in time, which brought about a lot of challenges in of itself. Now, Rabbi Moeti was, let's say, one of the most important, crucial poskim at that point in time. And he had to grapple with many of these different cases that resulted of this new, let's say, political reality that actually came upon it. And he would write various different, numerous responsa books, including the Nam David, which we're going to speak about soon. That was printed in Livorno, respectively, Shelel David, Yosef David, Levav David, Asher David, and the Tzuf Dvash, another famous book in 1876. And I think the book, the Shelel David, also will include, let's say, novels on, let's say, the first and fourth part of the famous Rambam. He wrote a very, very great Torah, colossal book in of itself. Hayad HaChazaka, famous book authored by the Rambam, let's just say, which was on a Torah colossal work on Jewish law in itself. That was printed in of itself in 1175, the original book, which is astounding. He also would write more different Torah works. I think there was books that scholars in Algeria used to study with great care in of itself. These books included one of the books which was printed in Algiers, I think Livorno, Algiers, was Yadei David, which dealt with let's just say, the Mesechet Nazir with regards to the Kedushei David. And then there was Kedushei David, which was printed in Livorno in the year 1856, which was on the Seder of Kedushim, respectively. And I think that was a time period also in Algeria where there was a lot of converts, Gentiles, would actually marry Jewish people. And he had to grapple with many of these different cases in this time. There was a period of higher and assimilation at that point. Many people were marrying out, and he had to really grapple with these situations. And it was, let's just say, a turbulent time period. It wasn't an easy time period to be in Algeria, and all this change really did cause many, many different issues. Let's just explore the books that he wrote once again, and I'll state the dates that it came about, including Naam David, which is printed in Livorno. I think it was printed from Shlomo Bilip Porti, I think in 1844. Then the Kodshei David, which we mentioned before, that was also printed in Livorno in the year 1851. I think that later on the Kodshei David will be printed in Jerusalem through another in Tafshin Memtet, the Hebrew year. Then the Shalal Le David, also once again printed in Livorno. Remember, Livorno had a very famous, great publishing house in its day. That was in the year 1850. The Yadei David was actually printed in Algiers, not in Livorno, and that was, I think, through the help of Rav Chaim Zev Ashkenazi. This was in the year 1853. And then the Yosef David, another great Livorno book, I think once again connected to Shlomo Moueti in the year 1856. The Levav David was in the year 1860, once again printed in Livorno. Asher David in Livorno once again in the year 1876. I think that was a year he passed away, if I'm not mistaken, or around that time. And then the Tzuf Dvash, once again printed in Livorno in the year 1876. Really great books in of itself. It was a great Torah, one of the great rabbis, without doubt, in his time period. And we've spoken about a lot of great Algerian rabbis. He was very, very well traveled, by the way. He would actually travel to Livorno itself. Remember those time periods, it wasn't so easy to just go from Algeria to Italy. And so he actually traveled, I believe. And I think this was in the year 1914, originally, to print one of his books. There was a lot of anti-Semitism. He himself suffered, and his son, I think he was arrested by the authorities and suffered a severe beating, was reported over, and he was able to escape. And I believe it was at a later stage he suffered from illnesses before he had passed away. But he was one of the great rabbis of his time internationally in the 1800s in of itself. Don't forget to light candles in his memory. He was buried in Algeria. Vav Shvat, the 6th of Shvat, marks of great rabbis, Hilula. Please, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about a lot of the great rabbis of yesteryear. We've covered nearly 700 great Chachamim. If you're related to any of the great Chachamim we are speaking to, please send an email or a comment. I'd love to hear more. Light candles in their memory. Share with other people that are interested in educating and learning with regards to Sephardi Chachamim. I'm wishing you blessings from Israel. Take care. Have a meaningful day, everyone. And blessings here from Israel.